Anybody know who this is? This is Africa. This is Burundi. There's a woman named Maggy Barankitse. And Maggie's in a small town called Ruigi, which is in the highlands of Burundi, just next to the Rwanda border. It's a short drive by map from Bujumbura, the capital of Burundi, and a long drive by bus. And now you can drive without being stopped by the guerrillas. 2 years ago, if you'd driven there, you probably would have got shot. Which sounds sort of funny, but believe me, it doesn't. And Maggie's technical innovation is essentially to create schools, hospital, recreation facilities for kids in Ruigi who are orphans of people who were killed in the violence there in the 1990s. And it's real technical innovation. I mean, she's created schools, she's created a hospital. It's the best hospital I've ever seen in Africa. I don't know if anybody spent part of your life walking into hospitals and just going to tell which ones are good and which ones you wouldn't send your kids to. You might go yourself maybe, but you certainly wouldn't send your kids to. This is one where you send your kids to. It's clean, it's bright. There's people waiting, but they're waiting in they're not waiting in long queues where they're growing dusty with cobwebs. I mean, there's a sense of structure and organization. So this is technical innovation. It's not physical goods, but schools are pretty physical, and hospitals are pretty physical, but it's definitely organized. It's definitely a service innovation. It's an organizational innovation. Rather than creating homes into which you send kids, she's actually created an organizational structure within the community in which the kids basically support each other. And it's intriguing because it's, first off, they don't have parents to support them, so that one didn't work. Maggie started this because she was in 1995 and 70 of her family and friends were killed around her, and she basically bargained for the life of 30 kids. And now that she had these 30 kids, she had to figure out what to do with them. And so she started this. So it's actually a new way of organizing an orphan system. And it's also required a massive amount of environmental innovation in the sense of actually changing the nature of the community in which they operate to accept this. And it's amazing. You drive through the highlands and it's gorgeous. I finally found the green hills of Africa. I mean, it is spectacular and it is really poor. You drive through community after community where there's essentially nothing, little scrub things along the side of the road. And just put this in context, the life expectancy in Burundi is about 40 years, 40 to 45 years. And if you look, there's 3 lists of poor countries across the world, and on one of them, Burundi's 3rd from the bottom, one of them is 2nd from the bottom, and one of them is bottom. Haiti's 10th from the bottom, so put this in context. It's lower than Haiti. And you drive through one community where the ruling party comes from, and it looks a little better because they've obviously poured some money into it. And then you drive into Ruigi, Maggie's community. And there are stores, there are schools, it is bright, there's a gas station, there's a bank. She's created a whole community that actually goes beyond just the orphanage, the schools, the hospital. It's actually changed the nature of the community in which she lives and her kids live. She put the hospital went in there about 2 years ago, and there was a huge debate in her community, which is the Hutu community, but why are you putting this hospital into Ruigi when this is a Tutsi community and what you're doing is providing medical services for the people who killed us? And Maggie said, I need to change the environment in which we operate, right? That part of this is just for our own sakes. Independent of my belief in what I want to do for the broader country, pull people together, just for our own sake. We've got to change the environment in which we operate. And if I put a hospital in that's providing services for both Hutu and Tutsi, I can actively start to change the environment. Okay? So for this to work, it's taken technical innovation, it's taken organizational innovation, and it's taken environmental innovation.